Hello and welcome to Between the Lines here at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill, America's #1 local sports bar, as voted by USA Today. We're in our Body Armor Coca-Cola studios, and we will be live every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., covering the best of NFL, college football, and baseball, from the minors to the majors. I'm Jake here with my co-partner Tristan. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Between the Lines Show and on TikTok at Between the Lines Hour. Now let's get into the first segment. In the first segment today, we have one hot take each.
What is your hot take, Jake? I mean, he's been talking about this hot take he's had for like 2 days. He's been hyping it up. Right now at this point, I feel like I'm about to hear some like earth-shattering like news or something. I don't even know. What do you got for me, Jake?
Now, I chose this because I know we've had a little bit of history between this. And my hot take is that Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
So I'm hearing what you're saying, but it's kind of going in one ear and out the other, because Dak Prescott is not a top 5 quarterback in the league. It doesn't matter what his fantasy rating is in the first 6 weeks of the league.
Fantasy.
It doesn't matter what his numbers exactly are. If you look at the history, the lights become too bright for Dak in the playoffs. It's a tale as old as time.
We're talking about this season.
Sure, you can say this season. I'm talking about if you look at all the quarterbacks that have played in the league at least 5 years and are still playing in the league. I mean, all the quarterbacks out of the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, I could at least pick, I'll say 6 quarterbacks.
Give me them. Give me the top 6.
Okay, well, in no particular order. Baker Mayfield.
I have him.
Believe it or not, a lot of controversial. Jalen Hurts.
I'm not. No.
I do believe.
I'm not taking Jalen Hurts in my top 10.
Super Bowl winner, by the way. Been to the Super Bowl 2 times. He has a good system around him. However, you don't go to the Super Bowl if you're a nobody.
So if Trevor Lawrence gets taken to the Super Bowl this year, he's a top 5 quarterback?
Well, look at his track record versus Jalen Hurts' track record since he entered the league. Jalen Hurts has had a nothing but solid track record since he entered the league from Oklahoma. I mean, honestly, he's
Jalen
done
Hurts
nothing.
is a yard after catch merchant.
He's done nothing but prove himself time and time again. Even though he has a great offensive line, he's had a good offensive line. If you aren't building a good system around your quarterback or your athlete to protect them and give them weapons, then what are you even doing? Just because Jalen Hurts has been in a good system since he started his career doesn't mean he's not a top 10 quarterback in the league. I do, and that is a Bucs fan saying that. I do not understand all of the discussion around Jalen Hurts, the negative discussion around his name. Truly.
I watched him play this Thursday night, and we'll move past it after this because this is about Dak Prescott, not Jalen Hurts. But watching him last week, I'll tell you this. He missed so many wide open passes. He does not have the arm talent to throw farther than 15, 20 yards.
Well, we actually have a wager. Me, Jake, and my friend Aiden, our friend Aiden, we have a wager. I owe them $20 each if Dak Prescott wins Comeback Player of the Year this season. I bet that in the offseason. That's I believe where this all started.
Yes.
And I don't see a future for Dak in the NFL over past a few years. I really don't. He's not that much of a talent, and I equally dislike the Eagles as the same with the Cowboys, and I'm saying that in confidence that Dak Prescott is not a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Give me the other 3, because you told me 6. You've given me 2.
Okay, Baker, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. I would have to say.
I mean, that one's close. I can give you that one, though.
Are we talking just this season?
Just this season.
Daniel
based on what
Jones.
they've done. I also have Daniel Jones.
And I will give you. Are we talking?
I think you're forgetting a very big name. I'll say that.
Patrick Mahomes.
I had him just outside of the top 5. I had him at 6.
Who's the other big name I'm forgetting?
Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Josh Allen. I've got it as the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah, and I guess we're not counting injuries because then it would be. I would also say.
I don't have Lamar. I don't have Lamar or Jaden Daniels on my list for that reason.
All right. Well, getting to my hot take, I
also have Matthew Stafford above Dak Prescott as the number 3 quarterback in the league.
I see that.
But I want to give you some stats here on Dak Prescott this season. So this season, Dak Prescott, his quarterback rating is a 76.6, which puts him at 3rd in the league. He has 1,356 yards, which puts him at 2nd in the league. And his completion percentage is a 71.5, which puts him at tied for 5th. But I'm also counting Lamar, who's ahead of him, but he's missed the game. So you could argue that he would be 4th.
I have
Because it
to
is
say,
early in the season.
I have to say, if Lamar even was healthy right now, I don't know how he would be doing, because if you look at that Baltimore offense, they have gotten off to an extremely historically slow start,
Yeah.
and obviously the injuries that they've had have been almost near as bad as the Bucks.
I would say worse. The defense, every single one of their superstars on defense are out.
Yeah, well, defensively, without a doubt.
Yeah,
But
defensively.
offensively speaking, we know
Yeah,
with Lamar,
the Bucks I
the
still
Bucks
think
have
are
it
worse.
worse. Like
Yeah.
comparison, not saying that anyone has it necessarily like harder.
And the 49ers, who the Bucks play this week,
are
at
also
425.
extremely
Yes,
injured.
extremely. This is a very scrappy football game we're about to watch.
Yeah, this is a
lot
whole
of
scrappy
backup.
season for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
There's been a lot
Yeah.
of very bad injuries. I mean, you
Yeah.
have the Malik Neighbors injury.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and then you have the just the Bucks, Kalijah Kancey and Cody Mauch.
Yeah, Luke Gedeke, who, I mean, looking day by day, it looks like he might even be out for the season as well.
Yeah, which is just unfortunate to say. That entire right side of the Buccaneers offensive line is suffering
Yeah.
right now. But getting to this take, this is a very sorrowful take. I don't want to have to give this take, and this is one that I might get some death threats from a lot of Bucks fans. But it is just what I'm seeing as someone who watches a lot of football and watch a lot of Bucks football. Is that Chris Godwin will not come back stronger than he was from this injury. And the reason I say that is because, one, he was on a generational run before that Baltimore Monday Night Football game when he got injured. And he was doing extremely well. His morale was super high. You could tell, like, his locker room presence, like, that's a big thing with the Buccaneers, and he was providing a lot on that end. But that injury, honestly, it looked like it shook him a little bit. And also, you have to talk about Emeka Egbuka and Jalen McMillan, who are Jalen McMillan's coming back from an injury, and not yet, but soon. And Emeka Egbuka is just having an insane offensive rookie of the year type rookie season. And so between them, Mike Evans, who could very well be retiring in the next couple of years.
I think he's done after this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he
It just
doesn't crack
seems like the
1,000,
right time.
especially.
Yeah.
And this is the second year where he's missed multiple games due to a
Yeah.
hamstring injury, and obviously, yeah, I do agree with that. I do think this very well could be his last season. But just saying in general, I don't think Chris Godwin comes back, at least in the next 3 seasons, as strong as he was before
He'll be
the
33
injury.
by then.
Yeah, before the injury. I think there's a very good chance that he plays out and he performs a little bit, and he has, I would say, maybe median or average seasons for Chris Godwin and what we've seen from him in the past, which has been nothing short of great for us, or for the Buccaneers. But I don't think he goes on one of those generational superstar runs like we were seeing in that season right before he got injured, just because of the the touches that are being spread across this offense, and also just the the morale aspect, and also how quickly he wasn't rushed back from his injury, but if you think about it, he was cleared from his injury. That was the game against the Eagles. He was cleared against his injury on, I believe, Wednesday, and then he was playing in that Sunday 1 p.m. game. So that was only 2 days of practice maybe. And so I think that process of rushing him back extremely fast like that was maybe not the best for him overall. I think the Bucks were looking at that game and they're saying, you know what, if Chris can come back and be that player that we need him to be, we need him more than anything, and that's what they wanted against the Eagles, which didn't really pan out.
So I agree with you that he's not going to come back and be as good of a player as he was, especially because he was having the best season of his entire career. But I do also want to say that, which he is out this week with a fibula injury, which they say is separate from his
That's another
original
thing, yeah.
original injury. I think when it gets later in the season, we're getting Mike Evans back as soon as next week. We're getting Jalen McMillan back as soon as after the bye. I think they're going to let Chris Godwin take that extra rest, play 40% of snaps, and I think that's going to help him truly get back to close to where he was, even though he was on pace for the best season of his career and the best receiving season in the entire league.
Definitely, yeah. I hate to say it, and that was one of those things where I hate to give that hot take because many people are still very high on him, and I am still very high on him. I enjoy watching Chris Godwin football a lot. He's definitely a football guy. However, yeah, it's just, especially if you look at his how he's been playing since he came back from the injury, and just to
It
interrupt
is
this super
knocking off
quick,
some rust.
Definitely the second half of this Denver New York Jets game is kicking off right now in London. We just watched the kickoff here in the studio in Ferg Sports Bar and Grill, right off of Central in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Right across from Tropicana Field.
Right across from the Gray Lady, who is getting rebuilt as we speak. I mean, boy, I am so excited.
I think over 12 panels now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 12 to 24. 12 out of 24.
Yeah.
So it's exactly half. We're halfway there. It's just the home stretch.
And I think this new ownership is really going to take it to the next level. And we'll talk about the new ownership of the Rays later.
Yeah, I am very excited to discuss Patrick Zalewski and the new ownership group. They honestly, I have some mixed opinions on them. But I mean, what can you compare them to other than Stu Sternberg? So,
Yeah.
Next segment of the show. What would the next segment of the show be?
Now, I've got a list of players here, and I want to do this. Who is better, Emeka Egbuka or the wide receiver that I'm going to name?
Okay.
All right, so I've got a tier 1 here, and this is going to be the kind of easier ones, and it's going to get harder and harder as we go. A.J. Brown.
Are we talking just this season?
What else do we have to go off based on Emeka?
Egbuka.
I agree. Drake London.
The bias is kind of shown here.
Yeah.
But Emeka Egbuka.
Also, Drake London hasn't been very good this season.
Yeah,
he has
I
not
have
been
to say,
what he
if
was
we're
last
looking at
season.
just this season,
Yeah.
Emeka Egbuka takes him 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Nico Collins.
No,
Another
we're going
guy.
back to that last one. If we're talking about in a basketball 1v1, I am taking Drake London because Drake London did play basketball at USC. He was very good. What was the next one?
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins.
Again, another guy who's kind of that's
Nico
kind of the
Collins.
trend with the first three. Really,
Nico Collins.
you're gonna take Nico Collins over Emeka Egbuka.
I am so high on Emeka Egbuka. I love Emeka Egbuka, and I think he is the rawest, pure talent NFL receiver, or one of, if not the most, raw talent receivers in the NFL. But I do have to take Nico Collins just for the playmaking ability over the middle.
Now let me.
And
let
I
me
know you're
tell
about to
you
bring up
this.
stats.
Yes,
I know
I
you're about to
am.
bring up stats.
Yes, I am.
But if we're talking about raw playmaking ability over the middle, and especially with the quarterback that they're dealing with just this season,
I would argue that. I mean, obviously C.J. Stroud isn't as good as Baker Mayfield, but you're comparing
he's
Emeka
less
Egbuka.
less tenured. He's done less in the league overall. He's done less in the playoffs. He's really not that good of a quarterback, and like he's a great quarterback for his age. But like if you look at who's throwing the ball to these guys, I think Nico Collins takes it.
Now, I'm gonna go against that, and I'm gonna say why. So I'm gonna bring up stats, and then actually here. So he's got 312 yards, which Emeka Egbuka has about 450. He has 3 touchdowns. Emeka Egbuka has 5. Now, with Nico Collins, he has nobody to take away touches from him.
Mhm.
Emeka Egbuka, although this week is the primary receiver with Sterling Shepard behind him, which is not very hard competition, even though Sterling Shepard has been amazing. Nico Collins has Jaden Higgins as number 2. And Emeka Egbuka had to deal with being not only a rookie, and he had to deal with being behind a guy like Mike Evans, and now behind Chris Godwin, who won't be this week, but last week and the last few weeks is behind him on the depth chart. And then when a guy like Jalen McMillan comes back, who's already proven in the league, I mean, although that hasn't happened yet, I'm still going to take Emeka Egbuka over Nico Collins.
Yeah, you know what? You kind of convinced me. And I mean, like just going back and looking at Nico Collins' rookie season, and I know we're just comparing stats from this season, but Nico Collins' rookie season, he had like 400-something yards. He had like 1 touchdown. So obviously, like you're saying, just this year. But even then, Nico Collins is older, and he's like
26. He's at the prime age for a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was trying to combat the bias of that question, but yeah, Emeka Egbuka honestly just statistically
Won you over there.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
All right, now this is the second tier. There's 5 tiers that I have. This one's going to be 2 players. All right, Romo Dunze.
Emeka Egbuka.
That one gets a little close for me. Romo Dunze has been phenomenal this season.
Yes, he has, but I know, like I know, I'm struggling keeping it in just this year. But if you look at Romo Dunze's rookie year, he had a very rough rookie year.
Yes, but if you look
he
at
was also
this
behind
season,
Keenan Allen and also DJ Moore.
Yeah.
But overall, just if we're talking about talent, just Emeka Egbuka.
And stats. I mean, I'm taking Emeka Egbuka either way, but I also do want to point out that you can't compare stats to each other unless you do the first 4 weeks, because last week was Rome Odunze's bye week.
Yeah.
So you can't just take away one guy's played one more game and it's not an injury kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just this way the schedule worked. Okay, the second player I have for Tier 2, Devontae Adams.
That's a tough one if we're talking like the retrospect of their career, like overall, like the trajectory of it. But if we're talking just this season, I'm gonna go with Emeka Egbuka.
I also agree. Now, Tier 3, this is where it starts to get kind of hard. We're not going to talk about injuries here because both of these guys are injured.
Okay.
So based on what we know they're able to do and what they've done,
Okay.
Mike Evans or Emeka Egbuka.
Okay, this goes back to like saying, okay, and I feel like you already might know what my answer is going to be. But last season, if you asked me before Chris Godwin's injury who I thought should have been wide receiver 1, I would have told you Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
So I got to say Emeka Egbuka. Because like,
I also agree.
I love Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a generational player. Mike Evans will have banners.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Mike
Absolutely.
Evans will have his name on Raymond James Stadium by the time when he retires.
The day he retires, it needs to be inducted there.
But if we're talking about like just this season and we're talking about raw talent and we're talking about, I know we use that word a lot, but if we're just, it has to be Emeka Egbuka because who has Baker's number 1 target this season been?
Emeka Egbuka, and that's even when Mike Evans was here.
Yep.
It was Emeka Egbuka.
He's been scoring touchdowns since preseason.
Yeah, it's been all season with that. And now I'm going to go to another guy who's gotten injured but is going to come back this season. A little bit later than Mike Evans, but CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
That one got close for me. That was
I
the
have to
closest
take
one so
CeeDee.
far.
Have to take
CeeDee Lamb is a generational talent, but I'm going to tell you the reason that I am going to go with Emeka Egbuka over CeeDee
Okay.
Lamb as a wide receiver, and it's the drops for me. CeeDee
Okay.
Lamb is a complete workhorse. He's an amazing route runner, but he leads the league in drops since he's entered it.
Okay, and I know this might be a little hard for you because I know you do like Dak Prescott a lot.
Yep.
But here's the point I'm about to make. Swap CeeDee Lamb and Emeka Egbuka. All right? CeeDee Lamb in Tampa being thrown to Baker Mayfield, he goes for 1,200 yards. He scores over 10 touchdowns. Easy. If he's healthy the whole season. And now let me finish.
Okay. Okay.
If Emeka Egbuka is on the Dallas Cowboys, he could have a similar season to that. I don't think he would be on the run he's on right now.
Now, I'm going to counteract you and kind of go to receiver rooms here. I think CeeDee Lamb has a worse season with Baker Mayfield than he would with Dak Prescott, and it's simply because of how deep this Bucs wide receiver room is. Even if you take Emeka Egbuka out,
That's a good point. I just don't agree with that because CeeDee Lamb is one of those guys. Like, there's a reason why Mike Evans is our wide receiver 1 still and not our wide receiver 2. It's because of his like, I hate to use this term, but like his authority, like his aura, the thing is CeeDee Lamb is going to be the wide receiver 1 in Tampa. If I'm saying in the hypothetical that they swap
he absolutely
places.
would be,
and he would be still getting wide receiver 1 targets if he was healthy. That's it.
You also got to think a guy like Mike Evans is also going to be getting open, and a guy like Chris Godwin is also going to be getting open. And when Jalen McMillan comes back, he would be getting open versus what?
Well, the thing is, Emeka Egbuka, I don't think he would be performing at the same rate as CeeDee Lamb because I don't think Emeka Egbuka has seen double coverage like CeeDee Lamb sees this season.
He sees
yet.
double coverage.
He sees double coverage now. He sees double coverage now.
Now
but
that
at the start
once
of the
Mike
season,
Evans went out,
but
he
at the
started seeing it.
Yeah, but before Mike Evans went out and the start of the season and stuff, like Emeka Egbuka, he was still performing at a high level. Don't get me wrong. He was performing at a high level. He was performing at an extremely high level, and he still is now that he's seeing a lot more double coverages and like spies on defense trying to just grab and double cover him. But I do think he's. I don't think if they were in the exact same situation, CeeDee versus Emeka Egbuka, I think CeeDee takes the cake on that one.
We can agree to disagree there.
Yeah, I think we
that's
have
fine.
to. It's very neck and neck, which is surprising considering Emeka Egbuka is a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, it's insane.
That is insane.
Now, I'm going to go on to the next tier here. I've got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka.
I'm also going to take Emeka Egbuka pretty easily.
Yeah.
Now, this one, Malik Neighbors before the injury.
Oh, that's a good one. That's another.
I'm
good
taking
one.
Malik Neighbors. I'll say it.
Yeah,
I think he was the best wide receiver in the league before that
I'm on
injury,
the
other
fence
than
with-
maybe Puka Nacua.
I don't know. Well, okay. Do you have Brian Thomas on there?
No, I do not.
Would you take Brian Thomas or Emeka Egbuka?
Absolutely not.
Would you would take Emeka?
I would take Emeka Egbuka easily.
Yeah, I would take Emeka Egbuka over Brian Thomas. I don't know if.
Brian Thomas has not performed this year at all.
Yeah, like this year's. Yeah, you know what? We are talking this year. Before the injury, though, I'd still have to take Emeka Egbuka.
I just
still have
disagree
to
there.
because even Malik Neighbors before the injury, this season he wasn't having a season like he
No,
did last
he
season.
was.
He was on a good run.
He
but
was
he wasn't.
the number one wide receiver, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, like I just still have to take Emeka Egbuka because the overall kind of like I don't know, just the consistency. I feel like Malik Neighbors. I don't know. I feel like there's a reason why Malik Neighbors was receiving all of those targets,
And it's
so-
because Darius Slayton is the wide receiver, too.
yeah,
We can agree on that.
yeah, and so I just have to take Emeka Egbuka because Emeka Egbuka is fighting to get targets out of what you just said is an incredible wide receiver room because it is.
Absolutely.
And Malik Neighbors was really just farming targets off of a crappy wide receiver room. You know, like he obviously.
But he's also a phenomenal receiver.
Obviously, he was going to get the ball because I mean, all you got to do is put it up
Clear
in a
wide
zip code.
receiver.
You got to put it up
Yeah.
in a zip code, and you got
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I would still definitely take Emeka. I think we have to agree to disagree on that one too.
Yeah, and that's fine. Now, next is Jamar Chase. This is where it starts to get really hard.
Jamar Chase.
I disagree. Based
Jamar
on what
Chase.
they've done this season,
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase has had the
If Joe
horrible
Burrow-
quarterback
if Joe-
play, but
If Joe Burrow was healthy,
look when Joe Burrow was here.
if Joe Burrow was still healthy, if Joe Burrow did not have turf toe, I do legitimately think like Jamar Chase. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the difference between Malik Neighbors and Jamar Chase. All right, Malik Neighbors can have like a really good last season, and can have like an all right this season, or a really good this season, or really mediocre this season. Like you can see kind of like Brian Thomas. Like Brian Thomas had a really
Yeah.
good season last year. Obviously, these are young guys compared to Jamar Chase, who's been in the league for a couple years now. But you know, like Brian Thomas can have a very bad season, and then he can immediately, or a very good season, and then he can immediately go and have a very bad season, or so far was a bad season. Jamar Chase, with the season he had last year, with the offensive line that
I could
Joe
agree
Burrow
with
had.
that. I could agree with that.
I mean, there's never like if Jamar Chase had just consistent quarterback play with somewhat consistent offensive line, he would literally if he produced half of the numbers that he did last season, he would still be a top 10 receiver in the league.
Ooh, I don't know about
He
top
would.
10.
He would. He
top
would.
15 probably.
Top 15. I was a little
Now-
over exaggerating, but I would take Jamar Chase.
I'm saying based on the stats this year, I'm taking Emeka Egbuka. But we'll
Yeah.
move on to tier 5. We'll go with Justin Jefferson.
Oh, if we're talking about just this year,
Justin Jefferson, the first 4 games of the season did not perform
Yeah,
anywhere
that's what I'm
near
saying.
to a Jamar or Justin Jefferson level. So I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka, but that's the closest one by far for me.
yeah, if we're talking about just this year, shout out to John, by the way. Happy birthday. He said, I'm in love with Tristan Kennedy in the YouTube chat. But what was that you were saying?
Just Justin Jefferson is the closest for me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think CD is the closest for me. Like, if he was healthy.
It's close, yeah.
But I would. Yeah, I gotta say, going back to that thing with like, what if you swapped their positions? Like, if Justin Jefferson's on the Bucks, like,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson's literally like
Yeah, but I mean, you
going
can't.
for a million yards.
We're not
like,
Justin Herbert. We can't just keep saying what if.
You know?
We can't just keep
I mean,
saying what if.
Yeah, there's
We
a
gotta-
lot of
we gotta just go
hypotheticals
with
going
what
on
they've
here. Like,
done.
this entire show has been based upon hypotheticals so far, so I think we should roll to the next segment before.
All right, I've got
we-
2 more guys for you.
Okay.
Because I think these are the 2 best receivers in the league, and I'm going to say this before I even say their names. I think they're better than Emeka Egbuka. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
No.
No. All
I
right.
don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba is
He
better
has
than
been a
Emeka Egbuka.
phenomenal player, and I think
so. Yeah.
I think he's better than.
I don't.
I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to keep bringing up hypotheticals, so I'm not going to. But then Puka Nacua, we can both agree, is better than Emeka Egbuka.
Yes, I can agree
Having
with
an NFL record level season so far.
that. Yeah, I mean, Puka Nacua is one of those guys that comes around every once in a while. Like, he really is.
Yeah.
Like,
And a 5th round draft pick. That's what's so
Yeah.
phenomenal about it.
like he's literally could be the Tom Brady of wide receivers for all we know.
All right, now we're going to move on to the next segment. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that we're both wearing jerseys. And this is going to be the jerseys on our back segment. we're both going to highlight one player with the jersey that we're wearing and give some phenomenal stats about them. Now, do you want to go first?
I'll let you go first because I know
Alright.
you want to talk about Mike Evans.
Absolutely. I'm wearing a Mike Evans jersey. And let me just read some stats off for you here. He is 22nd all-time in receiving yards at 12,824, which is still here to grow because he's still playing. 34th all-time in receptions. Again, still getting more. 9th all-time in receiving touchdowns, which is now tied with Devontae Adams, by the way. But I think as soon as Mike Evans comes back, he's gonna push out Devontae Adams in a landslide. And he is one of 3 players all-time to be the team leader in points scored. Every other team is a kicker. 3 teams have a player, whether it's a running back, receiver, quarterback. I know Barry Sanders is one. I couldn't find the other, and Mike Evans is one.
Yeah.
And then he has 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons, which everybody knows. He's pushing for 12. It's going to be hard. He's injured right now.
Do you know who led the books in scores before Mike Evans?
Martin Gramatica.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Yeah, look at that
Absolutely.
ball knowledge. I love Martin and his son.
USF.
Yeah,
USF
kicker, best kicker in college football right now.
Ooh.
For me, I chose Andre Vasilevsky, the Tampa Bay Lightning goaltender. I am a big Lightning fan, as with most Tampa Bay sports. But I chose Andre Vasilevsky just kind of as I want to give the Lightning a little stroke of luck. Just because, the Lightning are 0-2 as we speak, which is not good, especially after losing to the Devils and the Senators. Okay, Andre Vasilevsky, here's some statistics for you. He won the Vezina Trophy in 2019. He won the Conn Smythe Trophy in 2021, and he has 2 Stanley Cups under his belt. He's the best tender, if not one of the best tenders in the league. He is my personal favorite Lightning player. I love Andre Vasilevsky to death. Love Big Cat. I don't know. The proof is really in the pudding with him. You watch some of his best saves on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, search up a highlight for some of his best saves, and it really is just something else. Yeah. Moving into our next segment right now, we have the college football recap. All right. Last night, it was Saturday night. Today's Sunday morning for those of you just tuning in. Don't maybe know that. Ohio State scored 34 on number 17 Illinois, 16 to 6. It was 34-16. Alabama won over Mizzou, 27-24. Pitt shocked Florida State a little bit. They won 34-31. Ole Miss beat Washington State 24-21. Indiana beat Oregon 30-20. Texas beat Oklahoma 23-6. Notre Dame beat NC State 36-7. Tennessee beat Arkansas 34-31. Texas A&M beat Florida 34-17. Watched that one. It was a pretty good game actually. Georgia beat Auburn 20-10. I watched that one last night. That was a rough one to watch. That Auburn Georgia game.
I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was kind of going in between the Cubs, Brewers, and Auburn, Bama, Auburn, Georgia.
Yep.
And it was I was really rooting for Auburn, I have to say, especially in that first half. They came out 10-3. It was very good, but then they just kind of fell off the back end there.
Yeah.
It was really upsetting. USC beat Michigan 31-13, which honestly, it shocked me a little bit. I thought Michigan had a better shot at that, especially being number 15th in the nation. What about you? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Now, I've got a game here for you, and this is the local team for us. The South Florida Bulls won 54-26 over Charlotte, but that was on Friday night.
Yeah. Well, it was University of North Texas.
Oh, I'm on the wrong game here then.
Yeah. They beat them 63 to, I believe,
63-36 was the game on Friday.
Yes.
Which USF is ranked 24. I think we're going to be seeing that get a big jump here.
I hope so. See, the thing is, They I don't know if it's going to be a necessarily big jump because
I think up to 18 around.
I don't know because UNT, they are an American Athletic Conference school, and so
But you've got to look at how they beat them.
yeah,
Although it was a close game in the first half.
yeah, like obviously the committee, they look at how the games played out, they look at the point spread, and obviously did you know that the point spread for that game, they had UNT by a point and a half?
That's crazy.
That was insane.
For
Looking
what
at that
USF
point
has
spread,
done this season,
exactly.
it's just,
I mean,
what are the thoughts there?
they were beat pretty bad by Miami, but that's the only loss they've had all season. Keep in mind, they've beat 2 ranked opponents.
Yeah.
In Boise State and Florida earlier in the year, and they blew Charlotte out of the water. When I was in Baltimore for that game. I was watching from a pub in, I don't even know, it was in like the harbor of Baltimore. Not important, but this USF team has been on an incredible run these last few weeks.
Byron Brown, phenomenal quarterback.
Byron Brown, he's looking like a Heisman candidate out there. Like, I don't necessarily know if he is, but he's looking like one without a doubt. And I do think that this South Florida team has a shot at a playoff or at a postseason run in the college football playoffs. At least one game win.
Yeah, I agree. We're gonna move on to the Bucs predictions for the game starting at 4:25 against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I want to start off by reading you a bit of an injury report here. Because if you looked at the injury report, just the picture of it, it is long. I'm scrolling out on my computer here, and it doesn't even all fit on the same screen.
What a joke.
Like, it's insane. So I'm going to read the players that are out for the Bucs, and then I want you to give me your thoughts on it. So
Okay.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin Jr.,
Yeah.
Bucky Irving, Zion McCollum, Benjamin Morrison, and Josh Williams. Any concerns?
Well, obviously, you just have the main ones, like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin Jr., like those are receivers that you need usually.
Bucky Irving, the run game was horrible last
Bucky Irving.
week.
Can we go back to last week? Can we talk about the drop tackle? No, that wasn't last week. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yes.
The Bucky Irving drop tackle.
What a joke.
That was the missed.
And it was the same
call.
thing that happened to Chris Godwin.
Exactly.
Both
yeah.
players got injured.
And
one got
but
fined.
the difference is now it's banned, and they still didn't call it.
It was banned
it's a
when
penalty.
Godwin got happened.
Oh, it was 2 seasons ago they got banned?
Yeah.
I thought it was last season.
Godwin got hip drop tackled. They fined Roquan Smith, who tackled Chris Godwin. And then they took the fine away after he appealed it and said it wasn't a hip drop tackle, even though he grabbed him by his hips and just fell to the ground, which is the definition of a hip drop tackle.
There's a reason that they got the ban. There's a reason the hip drop tackle got banned. It's just because it's the most devastating form tackle. It's not even a good form tackle.
It's just the easiest way to get a guy injured.
Exactly. It's the easiest way to get a guy injured, get a guy down, no effort, no real football playing there. It's really just it's filthy. It's not good sportsmanship. And you see guys getting injured over and over and over again because of these hip drop tackles, so they finally banned it. But now they're being so lenient on it, they're not calling it. And even with the tush push last season was debated, last offseason was debated if they should ban it or not, because the Eagles, the team that run it the most out of anyone, they were kind of almost exploiting the fact that you're able to jump a little off sides when you run that play because it's a play up the gut.
And I think some people are overreacting on that. Like, yes, they do false start pretty much every time on it, but it's by almost, you could even say nanoseconds. Like, you can't even, the refs by the human eye, you can't even tell, and you can't review plays for flags, so there's really not much room there.
Yeah.
It's just like...
I just think the officiating overall should tighten up. As someone who's watched the Buccaneers this season, like every single game that they've been on the field, this season has been rough with the referees. Especially with the Buccaneers.
That Jets game, any flags.
Fan of any team can just go out and say, oh my God, the refs are horrible. The refs have been so bad. That's why but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 4-1, ladies and gentlemen, and we are still talking about these.
And I'm going to say this: they would be 5-0 if they didn't get that punt blocked against the Eagles. That shifted the entire momentum. Yeah. That let the Eagles take control of the game, and then once the second half came out, the Bucs really showed that they are still that elite team.
Yeah, the Eagles. Okay, obviously it was a momentum game, as every NFL game really is.
Yeah.
But that game, if the Bucks grabbed onto some momentum halfway through the game in the middle portions of the game, the Buccaneers looked like a solid team because they really are. They're a solid team, but if it's the little things. It really is the very little intricate parts of the game that affect everything for the Buccaneers, and that's why partially I think that it's had to come down to
it's the hot starts that we've been
last
getting on.
1 minute drive, of the game, and that's why the Buccaneers have won every single game they've played in the last minute.
Yeah. Now I'm going to read the players that are out for the 49ers here, and I'm going to go through every single one of them, and there's a lot. So you've got, I'm going to butcher this name, but Yatir Gross-Matos, Kevin Givens, those two, I'm not familiar with them, to be honest. And then this is where it kind of gets important for them. Ricky Pearsall and Brock Purdy are both out, along with Jordan Watkins.
Sticky Ricky Pearsall, man. I remember watching him when he played at Florida. He got shot. That was pretty unfortunate. But that was when he got drafted by the 49ers.
That's a dark turn.
Yeah, that was kind of out of nowhere. My bad. But
now,
I think Ricky Pearsall. This is kind of a tangent of that. Ricky Pearsall's upside in the league. Ricky Pearsall is such a good receiver, dude. Anyone that doesn't necessarily isn't familiar with Ricky Pearsall's game, go and watch his senior year highlights from Florida. Dude is a monster. I mean, dude comes down with the ball like hardly like dude looks like prime George Pickens, but that one catch a year George Pickens make where it's like
absolutely
across the
insane.
body, behind the head, but that's like every catch he has to make. And then I don't know, but yeah, the injuries on both sides are going to be really affecting these teams. Like you said earlier in the show, it's going to be a very scrappy football game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of. I'm very excited to see the Kevin Stefanski, the game planning and the pre-snap motions, the eye candy. I'm really excited to see what Josh Grisard comes out with every week. That's kind of the nice thing about having a new offensive coordinator is every single week you're just getting a little taste of what this guy's intelligence, this guy's game planning, what he sees from the other team. I wonder if he's going to adapt to the 49ers injuries early on, or if he's going to keep a game plan that would be more standard with if he was still playing everyone that was healthy. I imagine what makes these coaches good, what makes these guys there's one offensive coordinator. There's 32 offensive coordinators in the NFL, 32 not necessarily because of head coaches and whatnot, but there's a limited position. What makes these guys special, what makes these guys have these positions is their ability to adapt and overcome, and I am excited to see what Josh Grisard brings out for these 49ers on today.
Now, I want to say something. Obviously, the 49ers are missing key receivers. They're missing Brandon Ayuk, who's on the injury report. He's on the injury list. So he's not playing no matter what. Not that he's ruled out. He's just on the injury reserve.
Yeah.
And then also, Ricky Pearsall, who we just talked about, is injured. But then you go ahead and take a look, and you would think, wow, the Bucs have it easy. But then they're missing two of their three top outside corners in Zion McCollum and Benjamin Morrison. Do you have any concerns with Josh Hayes going up against a guy like Kendrick Bourne?
Yes, actually. I think our secondary is kind of starting, with all these injuries, our secondary is kind of starting to look more like it did last season.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was last season. It was injury-ridden.
And it wasn't that they were not good enough players. It's just when you bring backups in, no matter what, they're not going to perform as good. Almost ever.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard because, when you haven't been starting all season, you haven't been getting touches all season, or playing time all season.
It's like Chris Godwin. Although he had months or a year pretty much without practicing, you kind of get rusty, not as the fact that you haven't played in a while for them, but it's a new feel. Game speed is different than practice speed.
Sorry to interrupt you. We have my father, Ray Kennedy, in the comments of this stream. He is saying, Jesus, today will be a test for the Bucs, but win these games, the experience, but others filling in could play dividends for the postseason. Great teams will always overcome the injuries. It's the culture in the locker room that determines overcoming adversity.
I agree with that.
He said, like and subscribe to Between the Lines and join the team. I agree with that a lot. Yeah, you need to do that right now if you're tuning in and watching. Other than that,
also get some body armor and Coca-Cola. We're
get
here
some
at
body
First
armor.
Sports Bar and Grill.
We are here at First Sports Bar and Grill on just off of Central, across the street, across First Avenue from the Tropicana Field, which is, like we said earlier, being rebuilt. Let's talk about the MLB postseason a little bit.
I agree. The MLB postseason, there's been some exciting games. Now, we'll start off with the game that happened last night with the Cubs and the Brewers.
definitely.
Got any takeaways from that? I know you said you were watching.
Oh yeah, I was watching. I cannot believe that outcome. The Cubs were fighting tooth and nail to stay in the postseason. They were really trying. You could tell. I have to say, their bullpen rotation is nails.
Yeah.
Other than, I'm blanking on him right now.
Colin Ray?
Kittredge,
Maybe?
Andrew Kittredge. Other than Kittredge,
Ray's legend.
yeah, Ray's
Ooh.
legend. But other than Kittredge was kind of the one that really put the nail in the coffin for the Cubs. I feel late in that seventh inning.
He's on the. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got traded from the Orioles to the Cubs
Yeah.
late or right before the deadline. I love Andrew Kittredge. I loved him when he was a Ray. I even liked him when he was on the Orioles. Were we at the game when Andrew Kittredge pitched for the Orioles?
I believe so.
Yeah, I remember.
I believe so.
Because I definitely was
We
there.
went to a lot of Rays games.
We did go to quite a few Rays
Quite a
games at
few Rays
Steinbrenner
games.
Field this last season. Thank God we will never have to go
Yeah.
back to that field.
Horrible.
I do
Horrible.
not like Steinbrenner Field, not one bit. I guess thanks,
It was the Yankees presidents
I
that was-
guess.
Some
Like-
people are acting like we didn't pay them $15 million.
Exactly. I don't know why we paid them $15 million and then continued to have the thank you Yankees written right
Yeah.
all over the stadium. That was
Oh
a little,
yeah. No. Throughout the whole season, that's insane.
Yeah, that was a little much.
The fact that was up there for so long is disgusting.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to the Brewers, and I'm going to kind of question them a little bit here. Now, they went with 5 pitchers, which doesn't sound too bad.
Cost
But
like $1 trillion.
when you go into a Game 5, which in this scenario was an elimination game, your next game, you're going to need bullpen arms no matter what. You always need bullpen arms.
Yeah.
When you go with a full bullpen game in an elimination game that isn't the World Series, I don't understand what you're trying to do, because now you've got guys that are playing on fatigue. Obviously, they don't have a game today. They have a day off. But it gets to a point where, are you just hoping your starter can go 7 innings and you can take the load off your bullpen? Because now you've got a bunch of guys shorted on rest.
If I was managing either teams, I do like the approach. Okay, well, you kind of saw this where the Cubs were running out of pitchers that were,
Yeah,
would
the Cubs
suffice
did
in
the same thing.
But I really like the idea that in the postseason you give less reps, more games. Does that make sense? Like less reps for starters, less reps for
Yeah.
Just rotate guys
And
more.
there's so much rest in between games because the MLB wants
Exactly.
more streaming and more people to watch these games at this time instead of 2 games being on,
Mhm.
so that people can watch every single game and the viewership's higher. It's smart.
Exactly. So I think it's a better idea overall to rotate your pitchers as much as possible, even if you have to get down to. I would say if it's a problem that you're feeling like you're going to run out of pitchers, I would say go for the lesser talents earlier. See it,
Yeah.
as a litmus test.
Which, I'll say
You know.
this, the Brewers didn't do. They immediately went with Abner Uribe, who's one of their best relief pitchers, maybe the best, I would say. Then, what confused me is they started the game out with a bullpen game. They went Abner Uribe, Chad Patrick, Trevor McGill, Aaron Ashby, all phenomenal pitchers, right?
Yeah.
And then they went to Jacob Mizorowski for 4 innings to close the game out. And what I'm confused about is why not start a guy like Jacob Mizorowski who gets his routine by getting ready, stretching for hours before the game, and then going with a guy like Chad Patrick and then closing the game out with Abner Uribe, who's used to that short rest and getting up quick and throwing and then getting out there immediately.
And I think this is almost where a lot of and that sounds weird, but later in the season when you have to make any moves like younger guys, farm system guys, guys that have been through it before, not
That's
obviously
almost
not
a
big
little bit of
moments.
an advantage.
Yeah, not like big moments, because big moments are completely different in the
Yeah.
MLB. Big moments will shake everything, especially
The
young
average
players.
moment in the MLB is about as big of a moment in AAA,
Yeah, pretty much.
typically.
But I have to say, when you have younger guys that have been through the farm system, that have kind of been wrung out, kind of been treated maybe not the best, or
Gone
just
from
had to
starter
deal
to
with a lot.
reliever.
Yeah, and they've dealt with it before, and they can handle their emotions. They know what they're gonna bring.
Yeah.
I think that's when you got to use them. You got to use them early in the game, like I said, as a litmus test. Kind of dip your feet in the water, see who you're playing with, see what kind of game it is. Because in the postseason, you'll have games that are super offense. Like you'll have games like the first Blue Jays game against the Yankees, where they were like 14-1 them.
Oh,
but then
Yankees got killed. That was awesome to watch.
Oh, that was beautiful. And I don't like the Blue Jays, but I gotta say I have the Blue Jays winning it all, taking it home.
I'll say this. I want the Mariners to win just because I want Randy to have success. But I do agree.
Too.
I think the Blue Jays are a much better team.
I think the Blue Jays got it this
I
year.
think the Mariners are way too top heavy. I think they rely way too much on the top of the order and their starting pitching.
Mhm.
And good teams figure out a way. But I think the Blue Jays are just gonna take it easily.
Definitely. Yeah, I have to say the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays got it. The Blue Jays, they look so solid this year. They've done nothing but like earlier in the season in the regular.
And I'm the guy that said the Blue Jays were getting lucky. If you look at expected win-loss, the Blue Jays were, I think, only one game better than the Rays at the end of the season. And run differential too. You can bring up all these things, but the Blue Jays, at the end of the day, they figured out how to win games and they did it.
Yeah, and
that's all it is.
Did you see Vlad at the end of that last game? How
Oh,
happy
yeah.
he was.
He was saying the Yankees lose.
Yeah.
Yup.
I forget what it was.
It was with
David.
David Ortiz.
Yeah, do you remember
It
when?
was the Yankees lose. He said
and
30 times.
And Derek Jeter was just there, and
hilarious.
they got mad.
Yeah, him and A-Rod.
Yeah, him and
Both of
A-Rod.
them.
Yeah.
Yup.
And
Yup.
do you remember when
Phenomenal
Vlad
play.
said, like, I forget what it was, but it was like a couple years ago. Vlad was like I would never sign with the Yankees. Not even dead. Like,
Yeah. And then there was also a conversation. He was at, I believe, what was a charity event. A little girl, asked him, "What's the easiest team to go against?" And it was a bunch of Blue Jays players there. Nobody wanted to answer, and Vlad immediately raised his hand, and it was like, the Yankees. And so it's been a long time coming. I bet you that was maybe the best day of his life.
One of the craziest parts of this last MLB season was I went to a Blue Jays Rays game, and I was with my dad, and I caught a ball. A junior Caminero threw me a ball that was hit off the bat of Vlad. So if they do,
That ball was probably bruised.
It is a little bit.
Yeah. He's got grown man strength.
Scuffed.
Yup.
And if they win it all this year, I can just say I have a little token of that.
Yep.
It's little, not much. It's obvious. I'm not saying I have a ring, but I'm saying it is a little something, little homage to him. That's pretty cool. I do think that out of every team in the league right now, they do deserve it.
I could agree.
Because they
And they don't have Bo Bichette right now too. He's not on the ALCS roster with an injury.
They have been consistently.
They did add
good.
Max Scherzer with him though.
Yeah, they've been
And Chris
consistently good with what they've had. Obviously the Rays are one of the best teams at being good at what they have, but
Yeah.
the Blue Jays especially
And the Dodgers
are
as well are-
not talked about.
Are slept on. When you take a look at what the Dodgers do with the amount of pitching injuries, I think they're just as good as the Rays.
But if you're talking
they're-
about what they have financially,
But they also, I think when it comes to pitching development, the Dodgers are just as good as the Rays, but it doesn't seem like it because of how good.
you could
the
say that about
Dodgers
any
are.
team that has their payroll. You could say, I'd hope so.
And the Brewers.
I would hope
the Brewers
so.
are another phenomenal pitching development team. That's the top 3 in the league easily for me.
Especially with Kershaw. With
Yeah.
the Dodgers,
Yeah.
Kershaw is literally
And
a
they
center
just take
outfielder.
random relievers too.
Exactly, and they turn these guys who are a little something to big names. That's the
Now,
thing.
I want to bring up a little bit of a recap on this Detroit Tigers Seattle Mariners game, which
I can't lie. I have not been keeping an eye on the Tigers a lot. I have not been watching the Mariners-Tigers series.
I'll say this
haven't-
right now: Tariq Skubal is the best pitcher in the league, and he might get the
Oh,
first
yeah.
$500 million contract by a pitcher in MLB history.
I think so. I
So
think
good.
Tarek Skubal, he's one of my favorite pitchers in the league right now. He's
13
so fantastic.
strikeouts. It's insane. But
in the postseason.
yeah, it just absolutely unreal. He's undeniably the Cy Young this season. But this Tigers-Mariners game went to 15 innings, which isn't even the first time the Mariners have gone to extra innings, not only in this series, but over the last few years, the Mariners have gone into extra innings so many times in the playoffs that Mariners fans are, I would say, honestly, probably getting tired of it.
Mhm.
I mean, as long as they keep winning, I guess they're not going to care, but their blood pressure's got to be high. I'll say that.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a very nerve-wracking postseason so far. There's already been a few big moments this postseason. They're just like, geez. Oh, can we talk about the Phillies loss on that error?
The Phillies lost. I can't believe it.
That Phillies loss. I mean, okay, 2 outs. You got a scoring runner going to home, but you've 2 outs. You throw it to first. Would you think you throw it to first?
I mean, I don't know. The bad throw by Orion, that's going to eat him alive. He's going to be so mad about that. And I'm going to say this. The best series through the ALCS right here, in my opinion, is going to be the Dodgers versus the Brewers. The unbelievable playmaking by the Brewers this season has been unreal to me. And I want to know, just win or lose, who do you think is going to win the Dodgers-Brewers series?
I'm going to say the Dodgers.
I think it's going to go to 7 games.
Oh, I think it's going to go to 7 games, but I think it's going to be the Dodgers in the end.
I think the depth of the Dodgers is going to put them ahead with the starting pitching. It's way deeper than the Brewers.
For sure.
Now, I'm going to get into some NFL picks here.
Okay.
And this game is still going on, but I did this before the game started.
Yeah.
Now, we've got the Denver Broncos at the New York Jets. It's not actually at the New York Jets. They're playing in London.
London.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to
clarify,
we both put together our picks for this
I'll
NFL
go
segment. You'll go through it. But we did put both of our picks on this page. Going into this segment.
So, we both have Denver Broncos winning. Now we've got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Indianapolis Colts. You actually have the Cardinals winning over the Colts, but I have the Colts winning.
Yeah, so I think, and this is crazy to some people, Jacoby Brissett might be the breath of fresh air that the Cardinals need on offense. And I'm saying that because Kyler Murray, he's great. He can run the ball around, but he has a problem forcing the ball where it doesn't need to go and also trying to make too many plays at once. And I think Jacoby Brissett is much more, not laid back, but he's definitely more attentive, and I think he'll try to spread the ball out more. I just think that
I think he's going to play careless. I agree with that. But yeah. I think the Colts are just a way better team. Now, we both have the Chargers over the Dolphins. We both have the Patriots over the Saints. Now, you have Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh.
I do.
I think
Perk Rogers has been on a pretty good run. However, yeah. I think that the Cleveland Browns with Dylan Raiola or a switch to Shedeur, who I think
Dylan Raiola,
or who's the starter currently?
Can't even remember his name. Dylan Gabriel, that's who it is.
Oh yeah, not Raiola. I'm thinking of college football. Dylan Gabriel, my bad. I think Dylan Gabriel, he's a young guy, has a lot of upside potential. We'll say that a lot, but I think they'll be able to pull out what they need to beat. Oh my God, who is it?
The
blanked on it.
Pittsburgh
Steelers. Yeah. Perk Rogers.
Yep.
Even though Jalen Ramsey will be in coverage, even though DK Metcalf is going to be,
I just don't think the receivers are good.
Yeah, I think.
Or the running back. Or no, Quinshon Judkins actually is.
Quinshon Judkins is a dog,
yeah.
So I just got to take the Browns on that.
I'm taking Dallas over Carolina, which we can go all day with.
Mm-hmm. And I think
because we've talked a lot about Dallas, even though I'm not a Dallas fan and I don't like the Cowboys as much as the next guy. I think Dak Prescott's just good.
Yeah, I do think the Cowboys are on a great run this season. I think Dak Prescott is on a fantastic run this season, but I have to just take the Panthers because I think it's one of those games where Bryce Young will pull something out of his back pocket. It's a gut feeling.
Now, really Seattle and Jacksonville I have as the game of the week, and I have Seattle, but you have Jacksonville.
Jacksonville coming off that win.
I could agree.
I gotta say, their energy is so high right now, and Seattle's
I think
defense
it's the game of the week.
Seattle's defense has not been playing like they did the first few weeks.
Now, we both have the Raiders over the Titans. We both have the Green Bay Packers over the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
Easy game.
Yeah.
Easy game. We both have the Buccaneers over the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
Good team figure out a way to
win.
Overcome injuries.
At home.
Yep. And at home, yes. We both have Detroit over Kansas City. Now that one I could see being an upset for me. I could see Kansas City pulling that
I almost
off. I don't
marked
think
Kansas
they can,
City. I did almost mark Kansas City.
I did too. 2-4 just seems crazy for Kansas City. I just don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to let that happen.
I think if the Chiefs lose this game against the Lions, I think the Chiefs probably don't make the playoffs this year. I hate to say it, but I don't think they do. I think there's a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of talent there. I think Andy Reid is doing exactly what he's been trying to do the last couple seasons. But, I just think that,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. They're shaky.
Yeah.
They're shaky this
and
season.
Chris Jones has just not performed well.
Yeah.
But we
that
both
entire
have,
defense.
Yeah, we both have the Bills over the Falcons for Monday Night Football. That's game 1 of 2. And then the other game is the Bears and Commanders, and I think it's going to be the same outcome as last year.
I'm
The
not
Commanders
trying
are
to
gonna
spread
win.
this out too far, but can we talk about the 2 games on Monday nights they've been doing? I don't really like that.
I don't like it either.
I think they should just have one game.
I mean, I don't mind it too much if it's a 7:15 and then a 10 o'clock game, if it's a purely
Yeah.
West Coast and East Coast kind of matchup.
It takes away
But
the
I also-
prime-time feeling,
yeah.
though. It makes it less special.
Yeah, because then as we saw it a few weeks ago. We were actually out watching the game,
Yeah.
the Bucks versus the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe the Raiders and Chargers went on after that.
Yeah.
It just
didn't
just
feel
didn't
the
feel
same.
like a
'Cause
primetime game anymore.
by then everyone has left. Everyone,
Yeah.
obviously it's a Tampa bar and not a Las Vegas bar.
Yeah.
But it's just like the energy is so depleted
Yeah.
after that first game.
I want to move on. We said we'd do it earlier. We've
Yeah.
got some new takes about the ownership and just some information that we've got based on their first press conference. Now, I want to start off by saying that Patrick Zalupski is targeting a opening day 2029 start for the new ballpark. He wants it to be ready by 2029 opening day, and he said his goal is for it to be like the Battery in Atlanta, where they have all these amazing venues. I don't know if you've been to Atlanta and been in that
I have
area.
not. I've been to Atlanta.
It's
I've not been to a
phenomenal.
venue.
It's phenomenal. The area, everything around it. I didn't go to a Braves game, but it's amazing.
Hell, I mean, if they're able to host the home run derby there, and
Yeah, but now I saw a stat.
isn't it Truist Park?
Yeah,
in Atlanta?
Truist Park.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I saw a stat that the Rays think that they can get it done by the 2029 season. They have
They would be rushing.
either 4 or 6 months to get it done, to get it started. The Braves had got their stadium done in 37 months, which gives the Rays either 4 or 6 months. I can't quite remember which one.
It was 36
I think it's possible.
months?
37 months.
37.
Yeah. Which I think it's possible. I mean, if the Rays ownership is as aggressive and we thought,
3 years and a quarter.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. Now, they did say they want it to be like the Battery in Atlanta, but the stadium will not be an open roof and will not be a, what is it called? Retractable? Yeah,
Yeah.
won't be a retractable roof. They shut that down
I did watch
quickly.
that part of the conference.
Yeah.
And that's because Patrick Zalewski specifically responded to that question saying that it's because the maintenance. And
He
they've
said he
actually
talked to other
spoken.
owners.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
spoken to other owners that have had the retractable roofs, and they said, "Don't do it."
Yeah, they said they regretted it.
yeah.
Which, I mean, I could see how that makes sense. I don't know. So I also
I'm
don't
also good
see,
with fully indoors because
I
you
don't see
really
why
want
we would
temperature
need
control.
a retractable roof.
Yeah, you
Like,
really
I
want-
don't think there's ever a game where we would be like, all right, this is a good time to open the roof. Maybe a 7 p.m. game in October.
I was gonna say like
today,
maybe postseason.
like maybe today. But at that point, why are you spending the extra probably $200 million to get a retractable roof for maybe some postseason games every now and later?
Yeah, like the truth of the matter is, if we got a retractable roof in St. Pete or Tampa,
It's not really useful.
yeah,
There's
like,
no point for it.
It's no point.
Now, this is a big thing for me. This is one of the questions that I had. They both said that they are going to let Neander and Kevin Cash handle baseball operations. Now, that's big. You don't want your owner getting involved
yeah,
in too many baseball decisions. I agree with that. Now,
because the truth of the matter is, you can make money off of a losing team.
yeah. Now, for anybody wondering whether or not they're going to extend Junior this year, they didn't give a clear answer. They did say in Neander and somebody else they trust, so they're going to let it be up to them. And then they also said, before we get off here, that the payroll will not increase. They didn't say this directly, but they
Yeah.
hinted that the payroll is not going to increase until the stadium is done and they're making a real consistent revenue
They basically said they're going to do about what Stu Sternberg was doing
until that stadium is done,
until the stadium is
which
done.
I can respect.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Patrick
He's spending
Zalewski-
$1.7 million on
Yeah,
billion
he just-
dollars on a team, and then he's going to go and build a stadium for him. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and I feel like he really should have known what he was getting into and buying the team. But then again, I also kind of think he did know what he was getting into and buying the team. And I don't
Yeah.
think the
it was-
plan
the
was ever
team-
to get bought out by some insane billionaire owner that can pay for every player we need. I just think the plan was secure the team and then have a place
get
to
it
stay.
done, and he's got a plan.
Yep.
But we want to thank you for listening to Between the Lines. We will be live every Sunday from 11 to 12 p.m. 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm Jake,
I'm Tristan Kennedy.
and thank you for listening.
Thank you.